Hey fam, let's talk about that question we've all asked ourselves at least once while dozing off in math class. Why am I even here? And no, I'm not just talking about existential dread, but literally, why am I stuck in this classroom learning things that don't feel relevant to my life? If you've ever found yourself daydreaming about that future career, or just wishing you had the faintest clue about how taxes work, stick with me for the next 15 minutes. We're going to spill the tea on the education gap, the pressure cooker of school life, and why half of us feel totally unprepared for the real world. Picture this: you're handed a diploma on graduation day, smiles all around, confetti in the air. The next week, you're staring at a rent contract, credit card bill, maybe even a job application that's asking for references, a polished resume, and LinkedIn links. Meanwhile, your biggest high school takeaway might be dissecting a frog or memorizing the Pythagorean theorem, which, let's be real, you used exactly once on a random test. Over 51% of us say schools aren't teaching real-world skills. That's basically half of us yelling, "Hello, we need better prep out here." So what's the real-world skill set we're missing? Think financial literacy, basic cooking, conflict resolution, even emotional intelligence. Instead, we get hammered with standardized tests and letter grades that define our worth, at least on paper. Then we step out into a world that values creativity, adaptability, problem solving, and we're like, wait, where was that on the syllabus? If you're feeling that whiplash, trust me, you're not alone. There's a reason the phrase adulting is hard became a meme. No one taught us how to read a paycheck stub, negotiate a salary, or invest in stocks. If that's you, you might be wondering whether your educational journey was just a series of multiple choice questions that had zero correlation to paying bills, building credit, or finding a fulfilling career. So yeah, the question, why am I even here, becomes super relevant when you're stuck learning about, say, the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell. Cool fact, but not exactly helpful when your car payment's due. And as if feeling unprepared for life isn't enough, let's add another layer of stress: gun violence fears. A staggering 40% of students are worried about this, like worried enough that it's a constant background noise in their school experience. So you walk into school not just thinking about your geometry quiz or that pop essay you forgot to prep for, but also about whether your school is safe. That's a level of anxiety older generations didn't have to tackle every single day. Let's be real. Living with that kind of constant worry, plus academic pressure, turns our schools into pressure cookers. The stress can lead to anxiety, depression, or full-blown mental breakdowns. We see folks freaking out about grades because they think one bad test score could ruin their future. We have parents and teachers drilling college, and on top of that, a literal threat to our physical safety. It's like trying to function with an invisible weight on your shoulders 24/7. If you're feeling that, it's not a you problem, it's a system problem. So how do we reconcile the illusions of this is the best time of your life with holy crap, is my life in danger? We're told school is a safe haven for learning, but we're also practicing lockdown drills on the regular. Meanwhile, we're not learning how to manage stress effectively or how to handle the emotional side of these threats. Instead, we're being graded on how well we can regurgitate facts. The disconnect is real, and it leaves a lot of us feeling numb, frustrated, or just plain angry. It's not like teachers love giving us busy work. Many are just as frustrated by the lack of real-world content in curriculums, plus the insane bureaucracy they have to deal with. They want to teach real stuff, like how to budget or how to handle workplace conflicts, but they often lack the freedom or resources to do so. Let's show them some empathy. They're fighting a battle within a broken system too. Fortunately, we're Gen Z, the digital wizards. We have entire libraries in our pockets. YouTube, TikTok tutorials, online platforms. They're stepping in where formal education sometimes falls short. If you want to learn how to change a tire, invest in crypto, or start a side hustle, you can. A quick search can teach you more about real-world skills than a semester-long elective, which is equal parts amazing and concerning. Because while self-learning is dope, not everyone has the time or know-how to filter out misinformation. Still, it's a start. So, are we doomed? Not necessarily, but let's call out the system's flaws. Overemphasis on standardized tests, great for stats, but do they really measure creativity or critical thinking? In flexible curriculums, focusing on rote memorization versus hands-on life skills, lack of safety measures, and mental health support. Knowing the steps to solve polynomials is cool, but not if we're constantly stressed about campus safety. Scarce career guidance. We get told, you can be anything, but not how to navigate real-world career paths. We can't fix what we don't acknowledge. So let's keep it real. The system is outdated, and it's leaving half of us underprepared. Guess what, y'all? We're not powerless. We've proven we can mobilize. Look at how our generation uses social media to spark change, whether it's climate activism or social justice campaigns. The education system might be huge, but if enough students, parents, and teachers push for relevant courses, mental health support, and better safety protocols, things can shift. Demand electives that teach personal finance. Demand more counselors for emotional support, not just college applications. Demand safer schools, period. We don't need to wait for the system to play catch-up. Here's how to start bridging the gap on your own. Self-education. Look up resources, YouTube channels on finance, online coding platforms, or free vocational training sites. Seek mentors. Hit up that older cousin who's killing it in their career, or that teacher who gets you. Ask real questions about adult life. Join clubs or orgs. Skills like leadership, event planning, or even robotics can help you build confidence and real-world competencies. Push for change. If your school board has open forums, show up or write letters. Voice your concerns about curriculum, mental health resources, and school safety. We can't ignore the elephant in the hallway. That 40% of us are constantly worried about gun violence at school is beyond terrifying. Some states are adding metal detectors or more armed officers, but that alone might not ease the anxiety. We need a multi-layered approach, better mental health support, conflict resolution programs, and yes, policy change around gun laws. If you've got the passion and bandwidth, get politically active. Rally for stricter regulations or better mental health initiatives. Whatever you believe will reduce this threat. Your voice counts, where we don't have to fear for our safety every time we step into the building. Sounds dreamy, right? But it's not impossible. Younger teachers are stepping in with fresh ideas. Parents are demanding more relevant coursework, and we have the largest voting bloc in upcoming elections. If we keep speaking up, keep asking, why am I even here? We might just force some changes. It's about a system that hasn't kept pace with a rapidly changing world and a generation dealing with anxieties older generations didn't face in the same way. But don't let that crush your spirit. Instead, let it fire you up. Keep questioning the status quo. Keep learning on your own. Start or join a movement for safer, more relevant schooling. Because we deserve an education that doesn't just grade us on bubble sheets, but prepares us for the beautiful, complicated mess that is real life. So, next time you're sitting in class, daydreaming about that big question, why am I even here? Remember that you've got the power to change the answer. Let's turn our frustration into action, and together build an educational experience that actually makes sense for the future we're about to create.